Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back or welcome to my channel. Normally on this channel I like to show you travels, but recently my wife and I had a baby, so the traveling has been put on pause for the time being. I do plan to show you travel later on, but I thought to myself, what can I do with this channel that's sustainable for somebody who has a newborn? So I thought, what do people like watching and what do I like doing? And something that is sustainable with a newborn is cooking. I like to cook and I like to eat. So what you can see here is all of my cookbooks. On this side, we have just your standard random cookbooks I've collected throughout the years. This recipe tin I got from my Grandma Judy. I also got this box of recipes from her as well. In here is a bunch of newspaper clippings from who knows how long, with recipes, magazine, things like that. And then this stack here is, this red book is from my nanny and the other ones are from my Nana. And you can see, for example, this is from my Nana. This book is well loved. This even has some of her, I guess, saved recipes. So my plan for this channel is to test a recipe every week. We're going to be trying some new recipes, some old recipes, and maybe even some viral recipes. So if you like that sort of thing, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get cooking. Alright, so for today's video, we're going to be trying a trending recipe. Well, it's probably not trending anymore, but it was a while ago, and it's been on my list to try. We are going to be trying the viral Donor Kebabs. I'll go ahead and list the recipe in the description so you have it. And I'm also going to be making some Turkish onions for topping because this kebab recipe actually became viral from a Turkish restaurant. So I'm going to list both of those down in the description. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring you in close and show you everything that you need. We're going to start with the onion topping because that kind of needs to marinate together. And then we're going to get going on the kebabs. If you're new to my channel, make sure you like and subscribe. We're testing recipes every week. And at the end, I'll tell you if I like it and if it's worth it. Thanks for watching. So for the onion topping, you need lemon, onion, olive oil, red pepper flakes, and parsley. You also need sumac, but my store didn't have that, so the red pepper flakes is, I guess, a substitute for that. Now, for the kebabs, you need a few things. You need ground beef. I'm using 85/15. You need tomato paste. This is actually from the freezer. I like to freeze mine because I'm not going to use a whole can for one recipe. Then you've got garlic, onion. You need paprika, cumin. This is another paprika. I just wasn't sure if I'd have enough. Red pepper flakes. Greek yogurt. It can be full fat, non-fat, whatever your preference. Now, for the meat mixture, there is a certain way to prepare the ingredients. You need an aluminum pan and you need wax paper or parchment paper. I would probably recommend parchment paper just because wax paper sometimes can get a little smoky in the oven. My store did not have any when I went, so I'm using what I have. But both parchment paper or wax paper should do just fine. And then for the garlic and the onion, it needs to be chopped really finely. Now, the best way to achieve this would be to use a little mixer. I will be using this Ninja. I have had this probably over 10 years. I paid, I think, less than $20 for it at Walmart, and honestly, it served me very well. If you don't have a mixer like that, you can use a grater and just use this setting is probably what I would recommend using to get the onions really small because you don't want huge chunks of onion. And if you don't have any of those, then just a plain old cutting board and knife will do just fine. In true Rachel Ray style, I am going to have a garbage bowl where I put all my garbage so I don't have to run back and forth. So for the onion, the topping is going to be red onion. The recipe calls for that. I probably wouldn't use a yellow onion because that can be quite bitter. If you don't have a red onion on hand, but you have everything else and you don't want to go to the store, you could probably use a white onion or you could use a shallot. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut these up in half moons and cut them to whatever thickness you like. I'm doing about this thickness. I think that that is a good thickness for my onion. If all you have is a yellow onion, I would just recommend soaking the onion in some cold water to just get some of the bitterness out. But I'd really try and get this because it's not going to be as sharp when you cook it down. Well, I guess we're not really cooking this down, but this part is a little soft, so I'm going to toss that. And then into your onion, you're going to add some lemon juice. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, but I'm just going to do half a lemon and see how that works. That looks pretty good, I think. Probably depends on the size of your onion. For the seasonings, we're going to do 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Calls for half a teaspoon of salt, so just sprinkle that in there. Calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, but I am going to do half a teaspoon because I like spice. It calls for sumac. I don't have that, so to add a bit more flavor, I'm just going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. And then we're going to add some fresh parsley. This is actually cilantro. I guess I don't have a lot of ingredients, but my store didn't have parsley. I don't know what the heck was going on with my store that day. But, you know, you're just looking for some freshness anyways when it comes to herbs. I think this will go well with the kebab. I mean, really, you can use any kind of pickle, any kind of topping. It's mainly what's going to go good with the kebab. What would really be good would be some pickled red onions, but I mean, this is kind of like a pickle, but not really. Some dill would be good. I mean, really, your world is your oyster. The recipe says that the earlier you make these, the better, which is why I'm starting with these. So I'm just going to mix everything in here nice and good. And then I will be popping these into the fridge to let them settle in. I think I'm going to add that other half of the lemon just because I want a little bit more soakage here. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Okay. So this is what it looks like. We are going to pop this in the fridge and get started on the kebabs. So we're going to start with our 2 tablespoons yogurt. And to the yogurt, we're going to add all of our seasonings. So that's going to be 1 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cumin. So a little trick that I like to do is when I'm using any kind of spices, or especially when I am baking, I will start with everything on one side of the counter, and as I'm cooking, I move it to the right, so I never have to question if I have added something, because I have accidentally doubled ingredients before, and you never want to do that, especially if it's salt. Big mistake. I have done that before. Okay, and then that is our seasonings there, your tomato paste, and then you need 2 cloves of garlic. And reminder, this is for 1 pound of beef, so if you're using more, feel free to double or triple it. The recipe that is online does have the option to multiply it. I had saw some recipes where they blend the meat as well. I'm not going to be doing that because my little chopper here can't handle all that. But you can feel free to add that step if you'd like. I'm just doing big chunks here because I have the chopper. We're going to add our seasonings and our Greek yogurt. Oh, smells good. That onion was sharp. And then our garlic and our tomato paste. Ooh. Ooh-wee. I've got got to get this onion board out of here. And I highly recommend cleaning as you go, or it's just going to be a big old mess. Secure our ingredients and pulse. Alright, let's see how we're looking. Beautiful. So this is what we are going for. We want a nice mushy texture. Now for this next part, I'm going to use a glove, but you don't have to. You can use your bare hands. Now you're going to get your ground beef into a mixing bowl. I'm using this measuring thing so you guys can see it. And you're going to add your wet ingredients. It smells really good. That onion, man, that onion comes up and bites you in the face. Hoo-wee. God. Now at this point you're going to preheat your oven to 400. Alright, next we're going to be dividing our kebab mixture into three evenly shaped balls. Alright, now this is where you get your parchment paper out. Now if you were really trying to be particular, you could weigh when you spread these out into an even 3 pieces. You could have weighed it, but you know, I'm like a flyby chef. I am not a professional. I don't pretend to be. I'm a home chef. You're probably a home chef if you're watching me, so don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. It's going to turn out, and if it doesn't, we're going to eat it anyways, as we don't waste ground beef in this economy, you know what I'm saying? Okay. This one's getting kind of thick here. Man, this roller really makes an easy job out of it. What's nice about this roller is you apply pressure and it does it. I mean, duh, that's why everybody uses a roller. I act like I invented this technology or something. Okay, we're a little thick here. Where can I put you? I probably should have added that to the first one, but you know, like I said, the other thing about ground beef is you can eat it rare, medium rare. And then if you take it out of the oven and one of them is looking not as crispy as you like, the recipe calls for throwing it back in the oven under the broiler to get it extra crispy. So it'll be cooked. Don't worry about it. All right, look at that. And then this piece is going to go into my trash bucket. And this is why we use a trash bucket, because look at all this I filled up. I didn't have to go to the trash once. Thank you, Rachel Ray. Now, this is what it should look like when you're done. These are going to go in the oven for 20 minutes, and I'll show you what they look like when they're done. All right, so this is looking more done now. I put it in for a couple more minutes. I noticed my oven kind of does that, where I need to cook things longer than the recipe calls for. So, you know your oven's temperament better than anybody, so. Now, I'm already starting to see this is sticking a little here. But I'm going to just lift it up. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Looks like it's just sticking on this very top section. Boy, oh, boy. Well, I'll scrape the rest of this off camera. Alright, so this is what it looks like. It is just going to pull apart. But I'm just going to go in here with some quick scissors, because it's hot and I want to show you guys what it looks like. Wow, is that looking, does that look good or what? Now, you can throw this back in the oven if you like your meat more crispy. I personally don't like that. I like it when it's soft. So, this is what it's looking like. We've got our little slivers of gyro meat. Wow. I'm gonna give this little piece a try here. Oh, wow. Wow, the flavor is really good, actually. Wow. Okay. Now, me personally, I'm going to be serving this on some pita bread. I've got whole wheat Greek style. I don't think the style really matters. And then this is how our onions turned out. They're actually really good, nice lemon bite to it. I think it's going to bring a nice freshness. Then I have tzatziki sauce, avocado, and tomato. I always salt and pepper my tomatoes whenever I'm going to put it on any kind of sandwich because it just makes it taste better. So let's go ahead and assemble this. We're going to put it right here. Now, you can open this up here and fill it in. I'm just going to cut it down the middle so I can present it that way. Oh. All right, well, I guess the style of pita does matter because Greek style doesn't open, I guess. What the heck? All right, well, I guess take two. I just learned that Greek style pita does not open. So we're just going to make this kind of like a gyro sandwich then. We're going to put our meat here. We're going to put our onion. I know my wife is off camera and she can't wait to eat. Right, honey? Mm-hmm. Okay. So then we got our tomatoes. I mean, this is really whatever. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I love tomatoes, so I'm going to do a lot of that. The avocado. And then we're going to top this off with some tzatziki on the side. This is another thing that I absolutely love is tzatziki. I didn't make this. I got this from Costco, so, you know, take shortcuts where you can. All right, so this is what she's looking like. Let's go ahead and give it a taste test. Probably shouldn't have put so much toppings on here, but not the most graceful thing to eat, but wow, is it good. So overall, I definitely would make this again. I think I prefer the pitas that you can open because I think it would be better with a little bit of a thinner bread. But overall, this is really delicious. You've got the freshness from the onions, the tomatoes, the tzatziki. The meat's very moist and tender. It's very, very good. I would probably rate this, I'd probably give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I think next time maybe I would try putting it in the oven to let it get crispy just to see what that's like. But this is something I definitely would add to my recipe book and I would make it again. So if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you've tried this already, let me know down below. And if you have, what toppings do you like on your kebab? Thanks for watching. Bye.